Hasnul, what are you teaching? Media art. So what is the fundamental of media art? Hasnul, what do you mean? What's the fundamental of the language of media art? Must be binary language. So what is binary language, Hasnul? Kau ni diri aku kenapa kan? Satu kosong lah, 1 and 0. And then he asked me, what is 1 and 0? 1 0 lah, yes and no lah kan, positif negatif lah. No, tak habis belajar. Now we go to the word new media art. There are 3 words there: new, media, art. For me, from my POV, from my experience, art is an exploration of complex human subjectivities. We have consciousness, and our consciousness flow in 2 streams. One is the objective stream, another one is the subjective stream. If we only entertain the objective stream, which is supposed to be done by people in the sciences with empirical knowledge based on tangible
Evidence.
measurable evidence, we will leave out and ignore the subjectivities. Okay? And now we have this intersubjectivities, this
Right.
discourse, so which is very critical. So we have these 2 streams, the objective stream and the subjective stream. We engage in art to explore these complex human subjectivities, which is extremely complex, because there's no definite definition.
Yeah.
So we know that, and that's why the arts is very important. Eventually, it has to converge back these 2 streams into singular consciousness. The arts and the sciences are what I call dance of the opposites. It's a complementary opposites, not antagonistic opposites. New media art refers to different types of creative output based on computer process. So this is more definitive. So if you are doing analog, not new media. So as one of several trajectories of contemporary art practice, and taking off from the field of fine art as purely expressive practice without applied dimension, new media art has often been referred to by many, in fact so many different terms, such as computer art, digital collage for Ismail Zain kan, digital print, online art, Niranjan kan, sometimes they call it web art, cyber art, ada yang cakap information art, data art, now we have crypto art kan, so many different interpretations and names. So I go to media. My interpretation of media based on my own practical engagement and my readings is not technical. It's not technical. I'm not a technical person. When we use the word media, what does it mean? So what is actually media? What is media? What does it mean by media? Is it a new word? Is it an English word? Is it a fancy term? Is it something? Because we would use the word new, kan? So anything that is before new, itu old lah, kan? So what is it actually media? So I'd like to go back to the origin of the word, which is in Sanskrit, madhya. Madhya. Madhya means center or middle. Also by other words, madhyas, madhyos, also medius, which all means middle, di tengah-tengah, in between. So madhya is a Sanskrit word that can be translated also as moderate or centrally or in the middle. It can be used to give a spatial reference, for example, describing a location as being central. But it can also be used to refer to golden middle or middle way or middle path. These are all from cosmological, spiritual. I don't like to use the word traditional, but for the sake of comprehension, traditional interpretation of the word media.
Why is it, Prof? I know, one of the dominant things in the discourse is, this is what it's being taught in the universities and all that, very much following the Western model, right? And everybody is feed into this sort of definitions that's coming from the West. Why do you think it's important to define it in this way?
If you ask me why I found this interpretation to be more sensible and it makes sense. That's it. That's how I can answer that.
To us?
For me.
Oh, okay.
POV, I'm not representing anybody. It makes sense. That's it. Some interpretations doesn't make sense. It's nonsense. Madhya can be referred to as supreme consciousness. Some other words, high consciousness, high awareness. So I leave it to you guys. If you are interested, the answer will come to you. Or the heart, in Malay, kalbu. Oh, media art ada kaitan dengan kalbu. Tak tahu selama ni aku praktis kan. Kan. Hashtag deep. Here, Madhya can also be used interchangeably with also Sanskrit word. Okay, Nadi. What is Nadi? Pathway through which Kundalini energy arises. You want to know, you guys want to know Kundalini, you have to ask Roopesh Sitharan. So meditation in this tradition may be described as pathway to Madhya, to higher consciousness. So when I went through this, I found it to be profound. I thought that I was just playing with gadget. Rupanya dia hashtag deep. So now we go to Nadi, pathway, media, Madhya. So it reminds me of, this is my own fancy term lah. Orang asyik guna internet, aku kata internet lagi penting daripada internet. So what is internet? Internet is within each and every one of us, in our own body. We have two forms of nadi. One is our blood system, another one is our nerve system. So nerve ya, kalau kita tak jaga nerve kita ada dua nadi ni. And most of the time we ignore this. But interestingly, more interesting is that this has to do with my practice, which is media art kan. So these nadis from these pictures alone, next slide. Bifurcation, and the word is fractals. Word is fractal, or something like a tree. And you see that in our veins, you see that in our everywhere, from our body to the microscopic level to the macroscopic level. This fractal, fraction, fractal or fraction, with something in the middle, like the central nervous system kan, macam nadi tu kan. So we have this synergy between human being and nature, and these nadis are our synergies. So you find that in river system, in delta system, everywhere, on the leaves, daun kan. So I call it senadi. It's about interconnectivity. No senadi, disconnectivity, which is the source of pain. These are visualizations of nadis, pathways, media, madhyas. In a linear sense, we have this tunjang. In our body, it is our backbone. Very important. You have this in pohon beringin. This is also pohon beringin. This is the human body. This is gunungan from Jawa. It's same language. Same language. All this media.
They're already there in a tradition.
So I don't look at computers, gadgets as gadgets.
Mm.
When you call it media, but what it means fundamentally, this. These are projections of this, especially this. That's what I learned.
Mm.
That's my interpretation. You can go on talk about whatever you want to talk about in technically
Mm.
about whatever gadgets that you're using. But if you ask me media, it reminds me of that. That is fundamental for me in understanding media. And it came from a tradition that is close
Mm.
to us. I don't want to use the word tradition because tradition is
Yeah.
a word invented by the West when they come up with the term modern.
Yeah.
Nanti kalau guna istilah tradisi itu berhati-hati kerana itu satu istilah yang dicipta oleh modernity yang dibawa oleh gagasan-gagasan dari penjajah. Looking at history in a very linear way. But history is not, my interpretation in history is not linear. When you say history is linear, then you say, okay, we are here, we are modern, whatever that came before modern is tradition. And whatever that came before modern is not as canggih, as developed, as civilized as modern. So we go back to this center and we see this mandala structure. You can see this in nature. We can see this, of course, in this example, ice. Yeah. We see this in the what you call cymatics.
Right. Yeah. In nature.
Of course, if you like to read, if you want to enjoy this and go, maybe some of you know about this. What you call form is a frozen form of sound. Our body is a frozen sound. That's why sound is very important. I want to go to interconnectivity, but then interconnectivity in terms of what? This is my interpretation. 3 forms of relationship. If there is any disconnection in any of these 3 relationships, there's no civilization. And that relationship must be driven by love and compassion.